How can I avoid some of the birth order parenting stereotypes? For example, my baby, age 2, gets away with so much terrible behavior just because he is the baby, and my older kids and I do what he wants. Or my oldest kid is very much the little mom and takes on too much because she's the oldest. What can I do? Should I even try? What did you do?
Greg is a firstborn. My sister Fran is a firstborn. Kelsey is our firstborn. All of them, high responsibility is at the top of their charts.
Yeah.
They feel responsible for things that I don't even think about.
Yeah.
Period.
Very true.
So I don't think you can get that out of a child. And Abby, definitely the characteristics of the baby. I had the characteristics of the baby. You can't get that out of us. Why wouldn't you want to help me with this project? Because I'm adorable and I'm going to charm my way and you're going to help me do it. And so people say yes. Welcome to Wire Talk. Today we're going to be talking about birth order and sibling squabbles and how to parent effectively in all the realms of that. So let's get started. You've got some great questions and I cannot wait to dive in.
Hi, and welcome to Wire Talk. I'm Emily Karosik, your host, and with me is the most amazing Karen Stubbs, a.k.a. Mom.
Oh, you're so sweet. A.k.a. Mom.
A.k.a. also known as a.k.a. Never mind. Mom, I just wanted you to know that I did take your advice and I downloaded the app.
Oh.
And it's wonderful.
Tell me about it.
Well,
what do you love about it?
Good question. What do I love about it? Well, if I wasn't on the podcast all the time, I would say the podcast, but it kind of feels weird to listen to my own voice in my ears.
But it's nice to have them all in one space.
It is nice to have in one space. But I do use it because the other day I needed to find the colors link. Mm-hmm. And so I typed in colors on the podcast and then like one of the episodes came up and I was like, oh, I know that the link to the show, the quiz is in the bottom.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I was trying to figure out where you were going to be this week. So I looked at the events calendar. So that's really nice. But also I love the fact that it's just all right there. And, it's so easy. It's pretty. But I'm also doing a Birds on a Wire small group right now.
So fun.
I know. And we just finished Rooted.
Uh-huh.
And then we're doing, now we're going, since it's October, we are going to be doing the Counterintuitive Parent. So I bought it on the app and it was just easy. And because I'm doing it at my house, I just have it on my phone and I can throw it up on my TV and it's just easy. It's just, I don't have to fight with my computer. It's just
good.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, then the good news is the Rooted is free under the groups. All the old curriculums are free. And then the Counterintuitive, you do have to buy that curriculum because it's brand new.
Yes.
And we'll continue to pump out brand new. My goal is, just so everybody knows, is to do 2 new curriculums per year. So
Amazing.
Counterintuitive was this year. We're also going to do Peace for the Anxious Mom. We're going to be filming that in November. And then that'll be coming out next year. So super excited. A lot of great things in store for Birds on a Wire.
Yes. So do not forget to download the app today for all the new exciting things coming up.
And we will be making a big announcement in a few weeks. I mean, it's
big,
10/22. It's big, guys. So just be watching out in November because it's a-coming.
It's a-coming. So, today is something we've talked about colors. I mean, we talk about colors all the time.
Yep.
And we talk about siblings and squabbles and everything like that. But we're talking about birth order,
which
we've never really talked about.
Right.
So I'm going to ask 2 questions. You give me the birth order of your family.
Okay.
And I'll give you the birth order of my family.
So my original family?
Like your sisters.
So there were 4 girls in my family.
Yes.
I'm the 3rd out of the 4.
Yep.
But there's 7 years in between me and my youngest sister. So Kevin Lehman is sort of the expert in birth order. And he says that if it's more than 5 years, you start over.
Yeah.
So I really have the baby characteristics versus the middle child characteristics.
Right.
And Ricky, my younger sister, she has the characteristics of an only child. She has the characteristic of the firstborn and the baby.
Because there's so much time between.
There's so much
Aunt
time
Fran,
in between.
Who's the oldest. And
there's 12 years difference between Fran and Ricky. So, and Fran definitely has the characteristics of the firstborn. Michelle for sure has the characteristics of the middle. I have the characteristics of the baby, and then Ricky has all that.
That's That's
Ricky's
crazy.
got it all.
Yeah.
She's got it all going on.
So fun. Well,
And then what's yours?
Well, obviously, one of four. It's Kelsey's the oldest, then me, then Taylor, my brother, and then Abby. So I am the middle, but I really am the true middle.
True.
Because Taylor was the only boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of did things his own little way. You know what I mean? So I feel like I am the true middle, I don't feel like I was ever swept to the side, like forgotten about. People are like, oh, the middle child, like just forgets about you.
Well, to be honest,
you know what I mean? But
well, if I'm going to be honest and super transparent, you actually were. I had to be your face.
I was like, what?
I was very mindful of that.
Yeah.
I was very mindful of that. And honestly, Emily, I'm not joking you. Because you were the middle, you were so easygoing, so easy to please. I'd be like, Emily, what do you want for your birthday? And you're like, I need new pencils. And I'm like, can you give me more? You know, I would start.
Take a sharpener with my pencils.
Yeah, it was crazy. Kelsey would have a list the day after her birthday for the next birthday year. Like always.
We literally said that yesterday.
Yeah. And it's not joke. It's no joke. But like Christmas, I would start off buying your Christmas gifts because I'd be like, Emily is not going to be left out. She's not. I'm going to make sure she gets the most this year. But I'm telling you, I'd get there Christmas morning and I'd look at everybody's pile and I'd be like, holy cow.
Well,
Emily doesn't have as much, but you always loved everything you got.
I loved everything.
So but I'm glad you never felt it.
No, I never
because
felt
it was a struggle internally for me as the mom to make sure you were the same as everybody else.
Well, thank you. But there's like this thing on Instagram. It's like the firstborn is like the calm, the collected.
Is this the guy? He is hilarious.
Well, there's lots of different people, so I don't know.
He is so funny.
But it's like the calm, collected, like everything's in order, pay attention. And the secondborn's like falling over, cluttered, but it's like the most adventurous, like will do anything, like falling off the couch. And I do feel like that is me.
And then the baby is the one that everybody's doing stuff for.
Yeah, yes. So that I think that is me. So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see your answers in some of this because I think it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
So, all right,
let's
you ready?
Get going.
Okay. First question, how can I avoid some of the birth order parenting stereotypes? For example, my baby, age 2, gets away with so much terrible behavior just because he is the baby, and my older kids and I do what he wants. Or my oldest kid is very much the little mom and takes on too much because she's the oldest. What can I do? Should I even try? What did you do?
Such a great question.
It's like 4 different questions in one.
Yeah. Once again, I think it's a great idea to read that book by Kevin Lehman, The Birth Order book. It's very enlightening. It really does help you understand that there really is something to the birth order.
Yeah.
I think some of it is just hardwired into the child. And because they are the first, they just take on this huge responsibility. Greg is a firstborn. My sister Fran is a firstborn. Kelsey is our firstborn. All of them, high responsibility is at the top of their charts.
Yeah.
Like they feel responsible for things that I don't even think about.
Yeah.
Period.
Very true.
So I don't think you can get that out of a child. And Abby, definitely the characteristics of the baby. I had the characteristics of the baby. You can't get that out of us, like, of course you want to help me with this project. Why wouldn't you want to help me with this project? Because I'm adorable and I'm going to charm my way and you're going to help me do it. And so people say yes. So that's just the way it goes. So I think reading that book is very helpful. Also, the thing like when the oldest is taking more responsibility, Kelsey did that even in parenting you guys. Like, Mom, Emily did this. Like, you need to punish her. I would always remind Kelsey, hey, I appreciate your input, but I'm actually the mom here and I've got this.
Yeah, you can do it.
You don't need to tell me what to do or how to parent. I will decide when Emily needs a punishment or if she doesn't, and then also with the baby, I think you have to be mindful of, is she or he getting away with everything because they're a baby? And if they are, then start adjusting your parenting in that regard. Like I said, I'm glad you never felt that whole middle and being pushed aside and all that. But I had to be mindful of it. And I really was a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And once again, your love language is touch, physical touch, and time.
Yeah.
And I had to tell myself, like, you need to go play with Emily's hair. You need to go snuggle with Emily. Like, that's very important to Emily because that's not even on my radar, period, the physical touch, period. But I would make myself do it because I wanted you to feel loved. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, moving right along.
Hey moms, it's Katie, and I want to take a quick second to tell you about an exciting new resource created just for you. If you've been searching for a parenting study for your church or small group, I've got the perfect option. Karen has just launched a brand new curriculum called The Counterintuitive Parent. In this study, she's sharing parenting principles that definitely feel countercultural, but are firmly grounded in God's word. The Counterintuitive Parent covers big questions like, what does God say about parenting versus what the world says? And is there a way to balance being my kid's parent and their friend? Plus, Karen will walk you through topics like preparing your kids for life instead of just protecting them, fostering trust instead of fear, and focusing on cultivating their hearts rather than controlling every situation. So if you're ready to dig deeper into parenting with a Christ-centered approach and transform the way you raise your kids, this study is for you. Find Counterintuitive Parent on Right Now Media at the link in today's show notes or head to boaw.mom/CIparent. That's boaw.mom/C, and the word parent. I think you're going to love it, and I hope you join us this fall. Now let's get back to today's conversation.
Question 2. How do I teach young children about decluttering their belongings? I have 2 girls, ages 3 and 5. I regularly declutter the house, including their toys. I've tried getting my 5-year-old involved in the clean out before, but she wants to hold on to everything with a tight fist. She doesn't even like me replacing old refrigerator schoolwork with new stuff. Am I expecting too much that my kids will willingly help out with this? Is there a certain age you can start teaching this concept about getting rid of things? My 5-year-old still struggles with giving and sharing in general, so part of me thinks it's a heart issue and that I should continue to work with her on this. Thanks.
In this regard, I don't necessarily think it's a heart issue.
Yeah.
I think it's a hardwiring issue. You know what I mean? There are some people that are just hardwired to hold on to, and other people have no problem in letting go. Your dad, he's a blue-green, he holds on to things. Me, yellow-red, let it go. Like I'm a declutterer. Let's get it out. Let's move it out. But there's nothing wrong in holding on, and there's nothing wrong in letting go.
Yeah.
I think it's just understanding the wiring of your child. So if your child is having a hard time letting things go, I would even just say when the refrigerator gets really full, I would just say, hey, sweetie, I love all of your artwork, but there's no room for your new stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a special box, and I'm going to take out all the new, all the old, put it in the box. We're going to keep it. It's just going to be in the box. And then we can put your new on the refrigerator. And I think as a mom, we have to respect that that's the way they are.
Yeah.
But we can also teach when the closet gets so full because they don't want to get rid of their clothes or whatever, there's no more room. There's no more room on the refrigerator. So we got to take off. And this is just part of life. But we can still put your other stuff in a box and we can put it to the side. Taylor still has his sailboats, his little toy sailboats that he had when he was little. They're in his closet downstairs in the basement. He does not want to get rid of them, and he is 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's just sentimental to him.
Yeah.
And so I don't throw him away because I try to respect that that's the way he is. Other kids are like, yeah, throw it away. I can care less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think we have to know what we are. I'm a declutterer, so I want to move things out. This mom probably is like me. She wants to move things out, and that's okay. But we also have to respect the way the other kids are. So the other way you could do it is to say, let's gather up all of our stuff, and why don't we give some of our extra stuff to people that are in need. And that's a good way that they feel like, oh, well, I am giving it up, but I'm also giving it away. So that's a good thing.
Harper has a hard time with giving things. My daughter is 5, and she has a hard time giving things away. But when I say if I throw it in the trash can, that's hurtful to her.
It's hurtful.
But if I put it in a bag and we give it to somebody, she's like, that's going to somebody else. So she doesn't feel like her toy is being thrown away.
Yeah.
And so, but we still work towards that. And sometimes I just go through the playroom and like, this tea set's missing half of everything, so it's good in trash, but I don't do it in front of her.
Right.
Also, I got a binder and put some page protectors in there, and Harper just draws all the time. And so I just put them in the little page protectors, and then they don't get thrown away. And she honestly is like, can I look at my drawings? And we'll get out the binder and flip through them. And then she's like, I don't want this one anymore. So that helps too.
Well, and I'll tell you, like my sister Ricky that I was talking about earlier, she loved doing art projects with the kids. Any of the art stuff they'd bring home from school, like from their art classes, she would frame it, put it in her house. That really hit home with Abby, our youngest. She really wanted me to do that. She really wanted me to display all of her stuff. And I'm just not that way. I'm not very sentimental. I never wanted to put it on the refrigerator, all the things. So as a compromise, I started putting all of Abby's artwork from preschool and elementary years. Remember this? In the garage?
I was supposed to say, this is in the garage, right?
Yeah. As you come in the back door, I'd start just, because, there's sheetrock in the garage.
Yeah.
And I would just thumbtack her thing to the garage. She walked in, she saw it all there. She thought it was so special because everybody would see it. Really, it was just a sneaky way to put it up, but it wasn't in my house.
Going back to the baby, gets whatever she wants.
Exactly. So I killed 2 birds with one stone. She felt very loved and appreciated. And I was like, well, good. It's not in my house and I don't have to throw it away. Because anytime Abby would see any artwork of hers in the trash, as I was cleaning out folders from the week or whatever from school, she would just get tears. Like, how dare you throw this away? I've worked so hard on this. And I was just like, it's not that great. So
it's a stick figure. Move on.
I know, right. So, but that's a way to compromise.
It's a good compromise.
Tell this mama I feel her pain.
So, all right. Question 3. Hello, Karen. I know I've already written in questions a couple of times to you, but this one is hitting my heart and I need some advice. My oldest daughter is bright red, yellow, and is a wonderful young girl. However, I have been trying to get her to see beyond herself, to think of others first, not always want to be the best and the biggest just for herself, to be considerate for others around her, especially her younger brother, with whom she has a lot of skirmishes with, usually started because she didn't get the way she wanted to do something. There are times when I have explained to her that what she has done and how she has made the other person feel, but I see no remorse for what she has done because she got what she wanted. Even in the small things, it seems that she just sees what she wants and is either not able or not willing to go beyond her own wants. She is 7 and I think is able to sympathize with others, but I'm at just a loss of what to do. I know it's probably a heart issue, but how do I get through her so she gets it?
I hear you.
Sorry, I stumbled through that question a little bit.
That's all right. It was a lot of words. Here we go. This is a heart issue, but it's also a maturity issue. She's 7 years old.
There's 2 in 1.
There's 2 in 1.
Okay.
It's a heart issue and it's a maturity issue. The other issue is if she's a red, yellow, those are 2 strong colors focused on themselves. Okay? So the red is all about her way or the highway, getting what she wants. She's a leader for sure. So she is like all in it, like she's got a vision for her life and she wants to move on with it. Even the yellow is very determined in that regard. The greens and the blues, they're also self-focused, but they do keep in mind other people's feelings and they're thoughtful and more sensitive to way other people's feelings work, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, I think it's going to take time, and sometimes with our reds and our yellows, It could even be in her 20s until she finally gets this concept, that it's not always about her kind of thing. So, but just keep in mind, God is patient. He's not going to let up on her. He's going to show her through different things in her life to how to think of others and not put herself first. And we have to be patient too. So I think this mom is doing all the right things. I just think we have to sort of think outside the box. I know when Kelsey, she was my strong red. Whenever she was 13, we went on our first family mission trip. And this was the first time, honestly, Kelsey started seeing the world outside of herself. We went to the Dominican Republic, which was a third world country. And for the first time, she saw people in need. And it really and truly broke her heart. And I didn't teach that to her. She saw that. She experienced that. She saw children that at the vacation Bible school that we did at the church were so grateful to have 2 crayons that were theirs. And that really broke Kelsey's heart. And when we went to the orphanage and she saw the mattresses or lack of mattresses that they were sleeping on, this nasty little yard that they played in, it was horrible conditions. We got back in the cars to go back to our hotel and she was just in tears. So I couldn't have taught Kelsey that, I don't think, in the United States. I mean, maybe I could have, but it really worked at that season in her life. So that sort of was the turning point where she started to think, oh, it's not all about me. And the world is a much bigger place than just Cumming, Georgia, where she lived. You know what I'm saying? So I think as moms, we just have to keep in mind that our child is 7 and they're just learning and they're just growing, and we have to just constantly teach them. And just because they don't get it overnight doesn't mean they're not going to get it at all. They will get it. And now, that's honestly, Kelsey is very compassionate and she definitely sees the world as bigger than her. And she's still not in that 7-year-old mindset, but she sure was when she was 7. You know what I mean? But now she's matured, she's grown, and she outgrew it.
That's great.
Her heart also grew.
That's great.
So God's part is the heart, and our part is being patient while they mature to keep teaching them.
I love that you said God is patient.
He's so patient.
And that's good. He's patient with us, but he's also patient with our kids.
He is. And we have to remember,
Thank
he
goodness.
hardwired them. He is the creator of our kids, not us.
Yes.
We were just the vessel.
Yes.
That carried them.
Yes. So sweet.
Yes.
Mom, this is our last question of this episode.
Let's do it.
Okay. Question 4. I have 3 girls, ages 2, 3.5, and 5. I'm not sure of their colors yet, but I am blue-green. My oldest is very bossy and very self-focused, and she doesn't like to take care of her sisters like I see some other siblings do. Additionally, she doesn't really seem empathetic. She will do things deliberately to cause problems with them. When I ask her how would she feel if someone did the same thing to her, she would say she'd feel sad. Then I would say, so do you think you should do that to someone else? She shrugs her shoulders. She knows the right answer, but doesn't really seem to believe it. I know children are generally not selfless, but I'm worried about how to nurture her kindness.
I love that. Well, the good news is she's 5.
Yep.
Most 5-year-olds are very self-centered and self-focused, so she's normal. But because she's a red,
you're just calling it.
I'm just calling it. I mean, the mom says she doesn't know what her colors. I'm gonna tell you, your little bossy girl is red, and I know that because I had 2 reds, and I got red in me as well. So, here's the deal: reds are bossy. Reds are self-focused. Whenever she's stirring the pot with her siblings and sort of aggravating them, it's just to draw attention to herself. Attention is attention, whether it's positive or negative. Okay, this sweet mom is blue-green. She is sensitive. She is thoughtful, this mom. She is kind. So she's seeing all these traits and characteristics that her daughter does not possess. And not only does she see it, it bugs her because she wants her child to be thoughtful, sensitive, kind. It's not that the reds are not kind. They can be kind, but they are usually self-focused first.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, it's a maturity issue. How I worked with Kelsey in this regard, when Kelsey was not kind to her siblings, I would tell her, even at 5 years old, Kelsey, you're not being kind to Emily and Taylor. So if you want to go play with your friend Lindsay, if you want to go play with your friend across the street, then you have to be kind at home to Emily and Taylor. And if I don't see that, then you're not going. And she would shape up her attitude, and she would shape up the way she treated you guys. So, and let me tell you, it wasn't just a one and a done thing. It was over and over and over. We would have that conversation. You know, I would tell Kelsey, you're a good little actress. I can tell whenever you're sincere and whenever you're not. And when Kelsey was good, she was sweet and she was kind. And I just had to sort of nurture that kindness in her. And at night, like when I was tucking her in bed, the Reds, they want a sense of control. They want credit for their work. They want appreciation, and they want loyalty. So I would say, hey, today when you were playing with Emily, I saw you were very sweet to her and you shared your toys with her and you let her go first in the game. I love that in you. I saw that in you. And she loved that. You know, when Greg would come home from work and I would say, Greg, even at 5, Kelsey was so sweet today. She led the kids outside and they were playing Peter Pan on the swing set, and that was their pirate ship. And Kelsey was telling Emily, you know, she was she was Mr. Smee and all this kind of stuff. And she was so great. Kelsey would just beam. She would just be like, yes, you know, and I'd be like, look at you. You're such a leader. You're such a good, sweet girl. Let your 5-year-old know she is good. She is sweet. Even though she's bossy, there's nothing wrong with being bossy. You just have to learn how to rein it in at times. So that's just part of where our job as moms is job security.
Yep.
We have a job and there's a job to do, and she will get there. It just takes maturity, but it's lifelong learning.
Good.
Yep.
Well, Mom, those are all really great answers. Thank you to the moms who sent in the questions. It was so helpful. I love reading the questions, and I'm going to do another app plug. If you're like, I want to ask these questions, how do I do it? Download the app. There's an entire section called Ask Karen, and it's easy. It's a form. You type it in, you send it, and then, And she does do batch answering. Sometimes we pull them she does emails sometimes. So whether it is through email or podcast, we would love, love, love to get your questions, because Wire Talk and Birds on a Wire is here to equip and encourage you as moms in your whole motherhood journey. And if you haven't already, please download the app, share this app with a friend, share this episode, like and subscribe, leave a comment. We need all the love we can get, because not for us, but for other moms, because the more you like and comment, it shares it with other people. And truly we just want to reach every mom. So on the playground, they can be like, did you listen to the new episode of Counterintuitive Parent? I did. Let's talk about it. So it's for you guys to share Birds on a Wire and just be a community of moms that love on each other well. So we love you guys, and we will see you next Tuesday.
See ya. Bye.